What if the man you've laughed at your whole life wasn't just a joke? What if behind the slapstick, behind the teddy bear, behind the silence, there was a story, a real one? One that began in a quiet town in England and ended in the corners of our imagination. Today, we're diving deep into the untold life of Mr. Bean, the man, the myth, and maybe something more. This isn't just comedy, this is a mystery. It starts in silence. Not the peaceful kind, but the strange kind. The kind that follows you like a shadow. A man sits alone in a small flat in North London. His room is neat, too neat. Teddy, his only companion, sits perched on a shelf, button eyes staring into the void. This man doesn't speak, not because he can't, but because once, long ago, he did. They called him Mr. Bean. To most of the world, Mr. Bean is a harmless goof, a comedic character who muddles through life with the innocence of a child and the unpredictability of a storm. But what if I told you that the man you laugh at, the man you see stuck in absurd situations, parking in bizarre places, getting into trouble with turkeys and Christmas trees, has a story, a real one, a tragic one, and a very human one? This is that story. But before we understand Mr. Bean, we need to understand the man who gave him life, Rowan Atkinson. Born in 1955 in a quiet town in England, Rowan wasn't the loudest in the room. He was painfully shy, often retreating into characters to escape his awkwardness. He had a stammer, a stutter that clung to his tongue like a trap. In school, he found it hard to speak. He was often teased. But in silence, he found power. Studied electrical engineering at Oxford. Logical, controlled, structured. Everything he wasn't in real life. And while others were dreaming of fame or adventure, Rowan was writing, secretly, quietly, little skits, characters, voices. He didn't want the spotlight. He just wanted to be heard without being judged. One day, he created someone different. Not someone loud, not someone wordy, but someone strange. Someone who didn't need words to be funny. Someone who used silence, like a sword. He created Mr. Bean. Rowan has said that the character came to him almost fully formed. He once said, "I felt Mr. Bean before I knew him." There was something inside him, something deeply lonely and childlike that he let out for the world to see. In 1990, the first episode aired. A man alone in a church, trying not to fall asleep. A simple setup, but people laughed and kept laughing. From London to Tokyo, Cairo to Buenos Aires, Mr. Bean became a global sensation. No translation needed, no dialogue required, just pure visual comedy. But with fame came pressure, and with pressure came pain. Rowan once said that Mr. Bean was exhausting. Every twitch, every eyebrow raise, every silent reaction, it had to be perfect. Mr. Bean may have been a character, but to Rowan, it was like wearing a second skin, a skin he couldn't take off, and the world didn't help. People stopped seeing Rowan. They only saw Bean. At airports, fans approached him, making silly faces. At restaurants, people expected him to act out gags. No one wanted Rowan Atkinson. They wanted the man-child with the brown suit, so he retreated. Slowly, carefully, Rowan began to disappear from the role. He made fewer appearances. No more new episodes. No more Christmas specials. And just like that, Mr. Bean faded. But here's the thing. Even though the show ended, some people say Mr. Bean never truly left. In 2019, a small town in the UK reported a man who matched his description, tweed suit, red tie, silent demeanor, wandering through town, staring at parking meters. One woman claimed she saw him at a laundromat. He didn't say a word, just smiled nodded, then left, leaving behind a teddy bear. Of course, these are just stories, urban legends, right? But imagine just for a moment, what if he was real? Not the actor, not the show, but the being. A man disconnected from the normal rules of time and logic, a relic of a simpler, stranger universe. What if Mr. Bean was never a character at all, but a person lost in our world, trying to make sense of it the only way he knows how? Take the fictional side of this story. Imagine a child, born brilliant, IQ off the charts, solves puzzles before he can speak. Parents enroll him in advanced programs, but the pressure mounts. The world expects perfection. Then comes the accident. A car crash on a rainy night. He survives, but something changes. Something in his mind breaks, or perhaps rewires. He forgets language, not completely, but enough that words become clumsy, strange, but his sense of observation, that becomes sharper than ever. He begins to see life like a puzzle, a game, a challenge. He walks into a room and sees the hundreds of tiny decisions people make, where they sit, how they speak, what they avoid. And he imitates, not perfectly, but close enough to get by, until something goes wrong. He tries to make friends. He gives someone a turkey for Christmas. They laugh. He misunderstands. They laugh harder, so he leans into it. He becomes their joke, their clown, and deep inside, it hurts, because he remembers who he used to be. So he stops talking. He learns to survive through action, not words. And he clings to the only friend who never laughed at him, his teddy. He calls himself Mr. Bean, a name given by others, a name he never chose. But now it's all he has. And so he wanders through parks, churches, hospitals, trains, always trying to fit in, always falling short, always being watched. He becomes myth, memory, meme, but he's still there, somewhere. Rowan once said that Mr. Bean is a child in a grown man's body. But maybe it's more than that. Maybe he's a mirror of all of us. He represents that part of you that feels out of place, that makes a mistake and hopes no one saw, that wants to belong but doesn't know how. That gets through life not because you're perfect, but because you keep going. Yes, Mr. Bean is funny, but he's also sad. A silent man in a loud world. A man who walks into every situation thinking he has it figured out, only to learn, again and again, that he doesn't. But maybe that's why we love him, because deep down, we all feel like Mr. Bean sometimes. The world moves fast, people talk too much, expectations are crushing, and sometimes all we want to do is sit in a room with a teddy bear and just be. Not speak, not perform, just be. So the next time you laugh at Mr. Bean, remember what you're really laughing at. Not just a man stuffing a turkey over his head or racing in a Mini Cooper from the rooftop. You're laughing at the absurdity of life, at how strange and unpredictable it is, and how, like Mr. Bean, we're all just trying to find our place in it. Silently, awkwardly, hopefully. Somewhere out there, maybe he's still walking, still solving life like a puzzle, still misunderstood, still Mr. Bean. In a world that moves too fast, maybe Mr. Bean reminds us to slow down, to laugh at our mistakes, to embrace our awkwardness, and to remember that even silence can speak volumes. Was he just a character or a reflection of something we've all felt deep inside? Thank you for watching. If this story made you think, smile, or even tear up, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little bean in their life. Until next time, Stay curious.